Did you miss me during the week? Well, don't worry, because I am back right now. Here we go again, another live English stream. This, in fact, is something called English Addict, coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be England. Oh. What? Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you are feeling happy today. We are back together. I want to see those smiles. Some people might say, Mr. Duncan, there is not much to smile about these days. Well, I always say that if you look carefully, go as deep as you can into your soul, you will find a smile somewhere, something to be happy about. Hi everybody, yes, we are back together again, and yes, we are live. Did you miss me during the week? I'm ever so sorry for not being here during the week. Lots of things going on. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you what is happening at the moment. Lots of things going on here in England and also in my personal life and Steve's personal life. We might talk about that today, we might not. It depends. We will see what happens right here. Live. Yes, we are here live right now. It is live. I'm just checking to make sure we are live. Oh, yes. Can you believe it? We are actually live at 8 minutes past 2 o'clock on Sunday, the September the 25th. 25th October is coming. And I have to say, I always get excited when October approaches, because October means only one thing. We are once again celebrating the anniversary of this, everything that you're watching now. All of this started way back in 2006. There are some people who were not born at the start of my live English lessons and also my recorded English lessons, and I suppose the birth of my YouTube channel. So long ago, 2006, when people talk about the early 2000s, it seems such a long time ago now, doesn't it? A few days ago we were talking about September 11th, and it is amazing to think it was so long ago. 21 years? It doesn't seem possible, does it? 21 years ago. Once again proving that time really does fly. It is actually going by faster than you realise. So my name is Duncan. I talk about English. I like English. You might say that I'm one of those up there. I am an English addict, and I have a feeling you might be one of those as well. So here we are back together again. Yes, we've made it all the way to the end of another week. A very exhausting few days, I will be honest with you. Yes, it's Sunday. We are back together again, everybody. It's lovely to see you here with all of your lovely faces staring back at me on my computer screen. It's ever so nice to have your company. I hope you will stay with us. Lots of things coming up. We are looking at idioms, expressions, words, phrases connected to things that we see every day in our lives. Fruit and vegetables is what we are looking at today. Besides many other things, maybe there is something that you want to mention, maybe something from your own experience of the past few days. Of course, I suppose I should also mention what's been happening here. Well, last weekend, of course, a lot of people were building up to the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, who sadly passed away. And a lot of people were watching. Apparently, I don't know if this is official, but apparently over 5 billion people were watching the funeral of the Queen of England last week. Can you believe it? 5 billion. So that is around maybe 61% of the world's population were watching the Queen's funeral. That doesn't seem possible, does it? So it just shows how many people these days are watching their TVs or maybe their computers or their mobile devices, because that is the thing that allows us all to keep in touch and to watch things that in the past might have been almost impossible to do. So that is another wonderful thing about technology. A lot of people criticize technology. They say it is evil and wicked, but it isn't, because you can also experience nice things as well on the internet. So I think a lot of people were watching last week. Well, when I say last week, it was only last Monday, although it seems a very long time ago now. Don't you think? Well, I think so anyway. Here we are together again, and we have the live chat as well. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here. Also, who was first today? Oh, very interesting. We have a new champion. Hello to Luis Mendez. That didn't sound right. Did it? I'll try that again. Hello to Luis Mendez is here today. And also you are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you. Well done, Lewis. You are here first today. I hope you are having a very nice time. Are you still in Brittany? Are you still there, or have you gone back? I have to say, my family on my father's side, my family originated in Brittany, in France. So yes, I do have a little bit of French blood, a little bit of my ancestry is French, and my family came from Brittany on my father's side. We have a French name. Oh, I bet you didn't know that. Yes, my family name is actually French. Oh, interesting. Anyway, Lewis, it is nice to see you back here where you belong. Also, we have Claudia. I suppose I should ask the very important question. And we all know what that question is, don't we? Well, of course we do. We know what that question is. And the question is...
What's cooking, Claudia? What have you got in the pot? What's cooking, Claudia? Is it something spicy and hot? Is it something salty or not? Oh, Claudia, what is in the pot? Claudia, what do you have in your pot today? Or maybe anyone, if you are cooking something delicious
for your breakfast, or maybe your lunch, or maybe your evening meal, please let me know. Claudia, what have you got in your pot today? Florence is also here. We have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. Sadly, you weren't first today, unfortunately. Mosen is here. Nice to see so many regular viewers with us today. And of course, we will have some new people as well. If you see anyone new in the live chat, please say hello to them, just in case I don't notice them. And then you can make them feel welcome, and they will come back again and again. Hello also, Paolo. Hello, Paolo. Nice to see you back. Maria Martinez. Hello is. Am I okay? I'm not sure. Garcia is here as well. Benjamin Perez. Nice to see you back as well, where you belong, right here on the live chat. Inaki. We also have Beatrice. Florence. We also have Tan Huang. I believe you are watching in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of people are here. Willian is here as well. Nice to see so many people. If I'm not reading your name out, it is not because I'm ignoring you, honestly. It's just because I didn't notice you on the live chat, because it moves so fast. Hello also, Jimmy. Nice to see you here as well. Apparently Jimmy is munching Kyoho grapes, which is a type of Japanese fruit, apparently. Oh, and he's eating them whilst watching me. Well, of course, whatever it is, if it makes you feel relaxed whilst watching this, enjoy yourself. I know what I had last night. I had something very nice. I had some ice cream. It isn't very often that I have ice cream. I used to like eating ice cream all the time, but these days I don't have it very often. But last night I had some delicious hot, well, when I say hot, it's melted fudge. It was melted fudge ice cream and caramel, salted caramel, absolutely delicious. So that's what I had last night, and I wish I could have some more. So however you are relaxing today whilst watching me, don't worry. If it makes you happy, do it. That's what I say. As long as it's legal. Please don't do anything illegal whilst watching my live stream. I don't want to get into trouble. Duchess is here. Hello, Duchess. I suppose I should salute you, or maybe I should give you a little bow as well. Christina. Hello, Christina. Lena is here. Hello, everyone. Happy to see and hear you again. I'm going to join every other Sunday since or from today. Oh, nice to see you back. Thank you very much. Very nice. We also have Marwar. It's nice to see you back as well. Thank you very much also to Christina. We also have Booker Laver. Oh, I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time here? Very nice also. So here we are then. It's been a very strange few days for everyone here, but especially us. And when I say us, I mean Mr. Steve and myself. As you know, we have a little bit of a drama, sad news, but what we are trying to do, and I know I'm probably not expressing myself very well because we are still in a little bit of shock at the moment because of the sad passing of Mr. Steve's mother, but we are trying to deal with it. I have to say, and I'm going to be honest with you, neither of us were expecting to be affected so much by that particular event. So I have to say we are still finding it very hard to deal with, to cope with, if I was honest with you. We have moments where I suppose we suddenly realise what has actually happened. The feeling becomes very strong, and it's very hard to keep your emotions locked away. I will be honest with you. Hello, Max Poe. I can't believe it. It seems like a very long time since we saw you here. Hello to Max Poe. It's nice to see you back once again. Very nice. We have some big elections coming up. Yes, Italy is voting for a new government. Apparently they are going to go right. It's funny how the word right can be used in different ways. So if you are going right, it means you are turning in a certain direction. For example, my right will be this way. But of course, on the screen, it will be your left. But of course, when we are talking about political views or opinions, we often see right as a direction of thought or opinion. So it would appear that in Italy, they are about to go right with their political leaders and the way in which the country is run. And of course, let's not forget also we have Brazil as well. They are entering towards their main elections as well. Some very interesting things happening there as well. Very interesting. Hello to Jade. Hello, Jade. Jade is here. Hello to you. Nice to see you back as well. A lot of people joining in. Thank you. It's always nice to see you here today. Anything you want to talk about? Did you watch the Queen's funeral? Did you see it? Mr. Steve wanted to watch all of it. And it did go on for a very long time. So Steve was very insistent. He really did want to watch all of it. So we sat for over 7 hours watching the Queen's funeral because, of course, there were 2 parts of the actual ceremony and service. So you had one part of it, which was in London, and then they went off to another part called Windsor, where another service was held as well. So it did take a very long time for it to take place. And a lot of people were watching. I still can't believe 5 billion people. Apparently it was the most watched, the most viewed thing ever in the history of everything. Besides my live stream, of course. I like to think that the whole world is watching this, even though my YouTube analytics say otherwise. No, it doesn't look like everyone in the world is watching me, unfortunately. Mr. Steve will be here very soon. Today we are looking at words and phrases connected to vegetables and fruit. Very interesting subject, I'm sure you will agree. Stefano. Hello, Stefano. Hello from Italy. I have already cast my vote in the Italian election. So when you cast your vote, you put forward your vote. You put your vote maybe in a box. Maybe you will cast your vote electronically. Because nowadays we have so much technology around, you can do almost everything and anything using technology. So a lot of people can also vote by just using electronic devices as well. Very interesting. Yes, it was a very strange week. We did sit for a long time. Florence says, Mr. Duncan, that was too long. How could you sit watching the Queen for 7 hours? Well, we didn't watch the Queen. We watched the actual service. And of course, now we have a king. It doesn't feel any different. A lot of people have asked me, through the messages and the comments. Mr. Duncan, what do you think about the King? Well, I have to be honest with you. Nothing feels different. Everything feels the same. If I was honest with you, everything seems exactly the way it was before. So that is what is happening. Yes, I had to cast my vote. When you make your choice during an election, you make a choice somehow. Maybe you are choosing a new political party to run your country. You make your choice depending on what your political views are. So you normally choose a government or a person. If you are electing one person, then you choose the person whose opinions or ideals match yours. To cast your vote. Beatrice says, I understand. Oh, I think this is actually a message for Christina. I understand you. I continue missing my parents in spite of the fact that they passed away many years ago, but they are every day present in my life and in my heart. I think so. Well, this is one of the things about losing someone. I think one of the hardest parts in life, or one of the hardest things in life, is losing someone close to you. And I suppose most people would agree that your parents are the closest thing you have. So losing them is a big thing. I think so. And I think that's what we're feeling here. So Mr. Steve and myself, because Mr. Steve's mother sadly died a few days ago, and I think we are still recovering from the shock, to be honest. It is very hard to deal with. I will be honest with you. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Would you like to see a little bit of nature before we lead into Mr. Steve? Here is something that cheered me up a few days ago. And let's be honest, not only myself, but all of us, I think we all need a little bit of cheering up for various reasons. So here is something that I saw out of my bathroom window the other day. Isn't it amazing the sorts of things you see? Look at that. So outside my window, and I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but there is actually a nest of pigeons. And if you look closely, you can see there is an adult pigeon, but also there are 2 chicks as well. 2 baby pigeons, and they are all sitting in a nest, which is outside my bathroom window. So I was there cleaning my teeth and I suddenly noticed that there was a nest with birds. And I've never seen a pigeon nest before. So I felt quite lucky that I was able to actually see this natural event taking place right outside my window. Very strange feeling actually, seeing it happen. And then about 2 days ago, the pigeons suddenly disappeared. So I would imagine that the babies left the nest, even though they don't look big enough. But apparently they can grow very quickly. So that's one of the reasons why you never see baby pigeons or chicks flying around, because, well, they normally wait in the nest until they are fully grown. So that's the reason why. Isn't that amazing? And you can see the mother is preening the chick. Isn't that amazing? I've never seen that before, ever, in my life. So it is a rather strange experience to see an actual nest with young pigeons being looked after by their mother. Isn't that great? I love that. English Addict on a Sunday. We are looking at a couple of subjects today. We also have a little wildlife to look at in a few moments. And of course, Mr. Steve will be here in a few moments' time as well. So don't go away. Please stay tuned. Keep your mouse away from your hand. Please don't click away. Stick around. You never know, you might actually like it. There we were on the beach, and we are hoping to actually get away and travel somewhere over the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks. We will see what happens, because between you and me, we really do need a holiday. Here we go. He's here. Prepare yourself.
Hello, hello everyone from across the realms, the world, and of course hello to Mr. Duncan.
Hello, Mr. Steve.
Who I've already said hello to today several times in my own special way.
Yes.
And but now I'm here with you and with you.
So here we are.
Wonderful.
And we are, as I mentioned a few moments ago, we really do need, and I can't express this enough, we really do need a holiday. We've got to have one, Steve. We keep telling ourselves this. And I think one of the reasons why we don't have a holiday is because sometimes I think we're just too lazy to do it. However, we have been busy over the last few days for various reasons. We are going to have a holiday. We've got to get in the car, we've got to get somewhere, we've got to be somewhere else. Maybe go to the beach and build some sandcastles like we did in that video that you just watched. So we've got to, haven't we?
Absolutely, we will. Of course, we're still thinking about planning our big meet-up in Paris at some point.
But that's next year.
That's probably next year. But yes, we haven't actually been away on a proper holiday we've been away for sort of odd days and things like that. But
an actual holiday where you're going away somewhere different and you're actually relaxing. You're
for
having
a week.
You're having time to just relax everything, your body and your mind. The last time we went away was, I think it was June 2019. So,
but even that wasn't really a holiday.
That's it.
It was a work event.
So we need to take a break. We've got to. We're not sure.
It's 10 years before we. But when did we last go away on holiday that we booked just for ourselves on holiday? Say abroad somewhere.
A long time ago.
It's got to be 10 years.
I'm not sure if it's 10 years.
When did we last go to Turkey? That was the last proper holiday we had.
That must have been, I think that was 2012 or 2011.
There we go. 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, we've had sort of 2 or 3 night breaks in
Sure.
the UK.
Yes, everyone has a short break, but
Not a proper holiday.
there is nothing better than actually having a proper break away from everything. Not that we hate where we are, but I think you do need to have a change of scenery. So when you go away on holiday, we often describe it as having a change of scenery. You're looking at something different. You are experiencing a different environment for a few days. So we're thinking of maybe going to the coast.
Well, see what the weather's like, because of course taking a holiday in the UK as we're approaching October is going to be a big risk.
Yes.
I mean, if we do get, say, a week of forecasted good weather, then we could look at going to the south coast. I'd like to go to Devon or Cornwall.
Yes.
But I think we've probably missed that opportunity.
I think going south is also better because you're still nearer the warmer weather, or the heat is further south. Because next week, Steve, it looks as if it's going to get pretty cold here.
It is. So, and we need to get some oil, because our heating here is powered by oil, not gas.
How much is it now?
You see, I've been monitoring the price of oil very carefully.
Very carefully.
To try and time perfectly to get the lowest price. As we know, gas has been going up tremendously in price.
Yes.
But we don't have gas here because we're not on the gas main.
We're in the countryside, you see.
So it's oil for us now. As we know, the price of oil has gone up, but it's come down quite a lot over the last few months. And thus it's still more expensive than last year, but not anywhere near as expensive as gas.
So we need to buy some oil.
We need to buy some because we're very low in the tank. And if we get a spell of cold weather, it's probably going to be a week to 10 days before they can deliver anyway. So, but it's coming. The price is coming down. So I'm reluctant to buy it yet until it's really at a price I feel as though I can buy it at, and be. You don't want to buy it this week and then in 2 weeks' time it's gone down a lot.
Well.
But then, on the other hand, we don't want to be freezing cold either.
No, and also you don't want to wait another 24 hours and it suddenly goes up, because you know how volatile things are at the moment. Look at the pound.
Yes, volatile, there's a good word. Yes, look at the pound.
Look at the pound. The pound used to be worth more, and now it's worth very little. It's almost equal to the dollar, the American dollar. That hasn't happened. Well, I don't remember it ever happening.
No, apparently it's never happened.
Yes.
And it's losing value compared to the euro as well. And our Chancellor of the Exchequer, the man in charge of all the finances,
whose name I still can't pronounce.
We can't pronounce it. Quasi something. Has announced all these tax cuts in the UK to try and boost the economy. But it has made the markets very nervous because they don't believe it's going to work. So the pound, he announced all these tax cuts on Friday and the pound dropped even further. So confidence in the UK economy is very low at the moment.
Everything's a bit crap right now. And we've noticed also that the prices are starting to go up. Bread, it's amazing. Bread has gone up by a few pence already. So everything is slowly becoming more and more expensive. But our pound, the British pound, it used to be one of the strongest currencies in the world. You could travel anywhere and live like a king. but now, it's not quite as easy as that, is it?
No, I don't know what that's going to mean when we go on holiday abroad. It's going to mean that we get less money.
Yes.
For whatever the local currency is.
Yes, we used to have a lovely... the euro, if you think the pound is bad, the euro is just sinking.
But the pound is sinking compared to the euro, so that shows how bad the pound is.
Yes. So you can see that the money, the British money, is becoming quite, I want to say, worthless.
talking of living like a king,
Yes.
somebody made a comment about the Queen's funeral.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Which, yes, we did. I heard you saying, Mr. Duncan. I was actually listening
Oh, my goodness.
before I came on today, instead of rushing in from the garden and quickly coming down here.
Good.
That we did, in fact, watch. I did watch 7.5 hours of it, and I was transfixed.
Yes.
Transfixed at the spectacle. If you're
Well,
transfixed, it means you can't take your eyes off something. It's so incredible to look at. I found it quite incredible to look at. It was a bit long. Got to say, it was a bit long. In fact, a lot of people have commented that how long it was. And in fact, it's rumoured that the king, our new king, is going to, change all that in the future so that when he dies, it won't be anywhere near as long.
Well, the thing here, the thing about here is we were also having the many, many days of people going through Westminster Hall as well,
Yes.
which itself has become a little bit controversial. There are two people very well known here. I'm going to say that you've never heard of them, but they are big celebrities here, and apparently they jumped into the queue. They jumped ahead of all those common people like us who had to queue. We weren't there, by the way. We didn't go down to London, but many people did, and they had to wait for many, many hours to view the Queen lying in state. But apparently a couple of celebrities, they jumped the queue. They pushed ahead. And now it's a huge thing. In fact, it's the only thing that people are talking about now in relation to the Queen. They're
There's
not
two television presenters who supposedly jumped the queue,
Yes,
whereas some people like David Beckham apparently stood in the queue for 12 hours.
he did not.
Which I actually don't believe.
We don't believe it.
no.
We're very sceptical of these stories because I don't believe for a second that there were people, just average people, queuing, and in the middle of all those average people was David Beckham
I don't believe it, yes.
for 12 hours. I don't believe that. I don't think that happened. I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
Lewis says in 2008 the pound was the same value as the euro. And Lewis remembers because he went to London that year. So yes, it has happened before.
Yes.
But it's never been equal with the dollar.
No.
But the dollar's very, very strong at the moment. It's been getting stronger and stronger all year.
Yes.
Because they're putting interest rates up and things like that.
So what is now happening is if we travel abroad, that our pound doesn't get much of anything. In fact, in some cases, it gets very little.
We're going to have to go to somewhere like Turkey, whose the value of their currency has dropped dramatically if we're going to get a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
Somebody asked an interesting question or made an interesting comment earlier. William said, talking of the Queen, thought that the Queen was only reigned in the UK. Was only the Queen in the UK. But we'll just if people don't know this, some people might not know. The Queen and now, of course, the King is head of state in not just the UK but the whole of the Commonwealth countries, of which there are around 56 colonies. Well, what were ex-colonies when Britain had an empire. A lot of them decided to stay in what's this Commonwealth of countries, of which there are 56, and about 2.5 billion people. So it's a sort of a loose sort of connection of countries, and the head of state in those countries is still the Queen. So the Queen and now the King is not the head of just state in the UK, but also of the whole 56 Commonwealth countries.
Including Australia. Australia at the moment, they want to kick the English or British monarchy out.
India as well.
India have already done that. Oh no, they're still part of the Commonwealth.
They're still part of the Commonwealth, yes.
Yeah.
But of course, yes.
See, that one's always a bit confusing for me because we were kicked out of India, but they are still part of the Commonwealth, which I find quite interesting. But you have countries like there is another one, isn't it? One of the Caribbean countries. I want to say I'm sure
I think a lot are still. I think Jamaica's still in the Commonwealth, but thinking of coming out, which of course a lot of countries now are talking about. Now the Queen has gone, because maybe they didn't want to come out of the Commonwealth of countries because of out of respect for the Queen, but now they might come out because we've got a king.
So they're seeing an opportunity.
Yes.
Whilst there is this strange transition between the Queen and King, then I think a lot of people are now taking their chances and finding the opportunity to maybe make a few changes here and there.
But interestingly enough, the King, our new King, is supposedly going to make radical changes to the monarchy.
Oh.
He's very keen on downsizing everything.
Yes.
And apparently where the Queen used to live in Balmoral in Scotland, apparently he's going to sell that off or something and turn it into a public... apparently.
I find that very hard to believe.
Well, apparently that's... Anyway, we won't go into that.
But actually, there are places, a lot of royal palaces, you can visit anyway. I'm always amazed that you can actually visit Windsor Castle.
Yes.
So they open it to the public. And quite often, or when she was alive, the Queen would often stay there. She always saw that as her proper home. And it's the most amazing place. I've never been to Windsor Castle, but having seen it last week during the service where all of the horses and the guards were marching towards Windsor Castle, it was amazing. I was actually awestruck by the appearance of that building, and that was on television. So imagine what it must be like actually being there in person. And you can visit Windsor Castle. You can actually go inside and walk around.
I went there as a boy. Christina says, I was struck by the sound of bagpipes at the end of the funeral.
It was
very touching.
The lone piper.
Yes.
Because every night the Queen would have the lone piper, and he would play at the end of every day that she was there.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, as the sun set and the night began to fall, he would play that same lament at night, the lone piper. And that's the reason why it was such a big part of the funeral. At the end of the service, the piper started playing, and he walked away, and you could hear the piper fading into the distance. And it was an incredibly... Even I found it very moving, very poignant.
If something's very moving, it means it touches you in your heart somewhere emotionally.
And normally, I'll be honest, I can't stand the sound of bagpipes. I think it has to be the worst sound ever produced by anything.
You're not a fan.
But I found the lone piper, the lone bagpipe player, to be very moving. The sound of it as it faded away was really quite... It struck me, I have to say, even though I'm not a fan of the bagpipes. They're all steel drums as well. So those are the two instruments that I don't like. Bagpipes, normally, and steel drums, those drums. You're
not a fan.
I'm not a fan of steel drums.
But yes, bagpipes are a strange sound. It's just a very odd-looking instrument. You can't quite understand how it works. It just looks very, very odd. Someone's wearing this with all these pipes and this sort of bag.
That's where
the name comes from.
Yeah, well, that's where the sound comes from. And of course, when they first start playing it, they have to do that.
They have to stoke it up, don't they? They have to get the air into the bag.
It makes that noise. Oh.
It's very annoying, Mr. Duncan.
I know. Just like the bagpipes.
Yes. Palmyra says, hello Palmyra, says that there are going to, apparently in November, the population of the world is going to tip over into 8 billion people.
Sorry, I remember when it was 6.
It was when I was growing up. I think it was less than that when I was at school.
I think when I was at school, it was about 20. There were just 20 people in the whole world.
I can't, but yes, maybe somebody could look that up. World population in 1970. That's when I was, 9. I'm sure it was. I remember them talking about it and saying that, it's going to get to 9 or 10. It actually has the population.
What do you mean it's going to get to 9 or 10? When?
I think by the time, I can't remember what they said now.
Oh.
the actual increase is actually slowing down. Apparently, it's not going up exponentially anymore.
No, but it's going up.
It's going up, but apparently the rate of growth is slowing.
It was only 6 a couple of years ago.
Okay, it wasn't, Mr. Duncan.
Where have those?
Not a couple of years.
Where have those 2 billion people come from?
And certain countries are, including China being one of them, aren't having enough young people being born to replace the elderly people.
You can't have old people being born.
Yes, but apparently the birth rate has dropped a bit too low in a lot of countries.
Well, that's why they relaxed the laws, you see, on the single child policy. In China, they suddenly realised, look, can all Chinese people, you know what we told you a few years ago about not having more than one kid? Could you please just spend a few hours together? Could you try and make some more babies? That's amazing, isn't it? When your government is telling you you've got to procreate. That's incredible.
Yeah, Nitram makes an interesting observation. In my opinion, one of the reasons why the Queen was so adored is she had effectively no power. Well, that's correct. She's head of state, but she doesn't have any power to change the laws. And that's what the monarchy in the UK is well, certainly the Queen, is very well known for, never getting involved in politics. But there is a word to describe, but she does have what people describe as, or the monarchy does have what's described as soft power.
Yes.
So by just visiting countries and being there, going to foreign countries and talking, there is a kind of power, and they call it a soft power, which is like an influencing effect. So if the Queen comes to visit your country, then often what happens is that trade deals may follow later. Not that the Queen would have been discussing that in any shape or form.
No.
But the fact that the Queen came to visit your country has an influence on what that particular country might decide to do in terms of relations with the UK. So they describe that as soft power.
Yes. So it's kind of because you're connected somehow with British royalty, it almost gives your own nation a little bit of kudos, I suppose. But of course we have a whole new kettle of fish with Charles, King Charles, because he is quite outspoken. In the past, he's got very much involved with a lot of political arguments to do mainly with the environment. But he is someone who often will voice his opinion or voice his opinion through a third party, which of course now he can't do. It's almost as if a giant hand has gone over his mouth. He can't make any opinions about anything.
Well, destroy the independence. Yeah, Lewis, that is what I meant. That China's population, and maybe China's population is suffering because it's not having enough new people being born. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. Yes, they're losing population.
Yes.
But India is still growing.
Yes.
In fact, they think that the population of India will now overtake that of China. So we need to stay friends with India.
And I think it's also a point of view of the number of genders as well. So you have maybe more male subjects or part of the population. So more men or more males than females. I think that actually happened in Japan. I think there is actually a genuine shortage of women or females in Japan. So there are many more males to females. And that's also caused a problem as well, because there are lots of lonely men looking for a beautiful wife Although I think sometimes they have those robots as well, don't they? Those robot dolls.
Yes, yeah, maybe they're going to become very popular.
Yes. They're certainly popular here. So I've heard, not from my own experience.
Use them for, I've no idea, but anyway.
I know. I can't believe that. I wonder if it's the same thing.
The population of robots are going to go up. The population of humans will come down.
Love robots. See, I think that's going to happen in the future. Because whenever you think of technology, that anything to do with technology, Steve, there is always one question that people ask: can I have sex with it?
Yes.
It is. Anything.
Because that's what the internet is mainly.
Let's face it. Anything that comes along, anything. That's the first question most people ask, especially men.
I read a book, a science fiction, because I like science fiction. I always use, that's the only type of fiction I ever used to read was science fiction. Yeah. And there was a one particular book, I can't remember who it was by or what it was called. Wherever
wow.
No, I can't remember. Well, I'm talking 40, 50 years ago.
It wasn't Carl Sagan, was it?
No.
Because you know Carl Sagan. I love Carl Sagan.
Yes, but anyway, yeah. So I think it could have been the same guy that wrote science fiction, The Stainless Steel Rat.
Oh.
There was a whole series of books by him. I can't remember his name. If anyone's a science fiction fan, The Stainless Steel Rat, Stainless Steel Rat's Revenge. There was a series of books by, and I can't remember his name. Maybe somebody will. I
remember when we first met, I was going through some of your book collection, and I found that one book, and I asked you, what, this is a very strange title for a book. And you said it was science fiction.
Yes.
And so I remember you telling me about that. Philip K. Dick as well.
He's a famous science. But anyway, just going back, what I was going to say, he wrote a book, and it was about these aliens that would come to Earth, and they had this ability. They could read your mind, and they would morph. They didn't look human, but they could read your mind, and they would morph into what was the ideal partner for you.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I know. I used to think, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes.
You know, this alien comes down, they're a blob, and they read your mind, and then suddenly this perfect Adonis appears. And that is physically and mentally the perfect partner for you because they've read your mind, they know what's right for you. Imagine that, Mr. Duncan.
I am imagining.
Imagine a world like that where everybody had their perfect partner.
So whatever your dream partner or husband or wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever they would be in your mind, you could actually have it. You could actually have your perfect partner, your perfect other half.
Harry Harrison, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Nitram, thank you for that. Harry Harrison is the name. He's probably not alive anymore, but he wrote a series of science fiction books called The Stainless Steel Rat, and they were just... I just liked them. They were very good, very, very inventive. Well, I've never turned them into a film.
As they always say, if you can imagine it, you can actually create it. It can be realities.
If it's up here,
yes.
Probably can happen.
Yeah, so a lot of things that you see or you saw in science fiction a few years ago have now really become reality, the way we communicate with each other. So you might say that we are now living in an age where certain types of science fiction have actually become reality. You think of mobile phones. You are now carrying a computer in your hand, a very powerful piece of equipment just in your hand.
Another series of science fiction books which I loved was by Asimov.
Ah, yes.
Foundation.
Yes.
Now that's very deep writing, very complex writing, and there's a series of books in that, and it reminds me a bit of Star Wars. But anyway, Robert is in Tenerife. Now, Robert, talking of holidays...
Now there is a place.
Robert Diaz in Tenerife, because Tenerife is a great place for Brits to go on holiday in winter.
Yes.
Because it's very warm there in the winter. because it's quite far south. And I have been there, you haven't, but it's one of the holiday destinations which I have said to Mr. Duncan that we may well visit if we are going to go on a winter holiday, because obviously I have to get my mum's funeral out of the way first.
Yes.
Which is 2 weeks tomorrow. No, a week tomorrow.
That's one of the things that's hanging over our heads. And I don't mean that in a horrible or bad way.
Yeah.
I just mean there are things that you're waiting to, I don't know, I suppose the word is closure. So because we are now waiting for Mr. Steve's mother's funeral to take place, and we have to wait until, I think it's not next Monday.
Yeah, it's next Monday.
Next Monday.
Yeah, 3rd of October.
The 3rd of October.
And obviously that's going to be very emotional. I'm currently writing a eulogy for my mother, a eulogy. So I've been planning with my sister and the vicar of the church where my mum used to go. I'm thinking of a word there where she used to. She used to go there every week, and so we've been.
She was a
planning
parishioner.
Service, yes.
She was a parishioner.
That's it. We've been planning the service for my mother, and that includes, as you know, if you have a funeral service, follows a certain template. There are going to be some hymns, some music when you go in, some hymns, some Bible readings, and there's all, at least here in the UK, I don't know about other countries.
Yes, anyway,
there is a eulogy where you talk about a short...
We sort of did all this last week, didn't we?
We didn't talk about that, the service.
Oh, didn't we?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Where you talk about the life of that person and try and sum it up in about 5 minutes. And I'm going to be doing that. I'm currently writing that. So, But after that, we want to go and have a holiday.
This is the point we were trying to get to. After Mr. Steve's mum's funeral, we are going to try and just take a break from everything, because it has been a weird one. When September started, neither of us had any idea that the month was going to be the month that it turned out to be, and very difficult, not easy.
Well, I have to let you know, Roberto, if we go to Tenerife.
Oh yes,
it is.
Although sadly our pound will not go very far.
It probably won't. No, because I would imagine if it's a Spanish territory, it's probably the euro. Is it the euro there, Roberto?
Yes, of course.
I would imagine you've got the euro.
Yes. And a new government.
So Spain.
Yes.
Oh, they had an election.
Oh no, not Spain. Sorry. For a moment there. I was going to Italy then. You see, I was in Italy. You were in Spain. I was in Italy. They're going right wing apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah, quite possibly. Yes. Right. Bye, Lena. See you next time.
Oh, I see.
Lena's off. But yes, there's a very large volcano in Tenerife. Christina says, where I trekked years ago. Yes, I went there. It's fascinating. It's so high, you look down and there's clouds are below you. You're looking down on top of the clouds, and there's a big cable car that goes right to the top.
Wow. So the volcano is inactive.
It's inactive for now.
Wow.
Where did we go to on holiday? That lovely island where we, which is volcanic, and they've got the sleds that go down.
Madeira.
Madeira, that's it. But is Madeira? See, Madeira's a lovely island as well. Is that Portuguese, or is Madeira Spanish? I can't remember now.
Yes, it is.
It's Portuguese. Right, I thought so.
That's part of Portugal.
So we're going to pick one of those two. But
just somewhere when you are there will be nothing to remind you of the rather solemn, unhappy, and depressing moments that we've had. So something that just completely takes us away from everything. So it might be in this country, it might be abroad. We will see what happens. But
well, we were going to take a holiday anyway.
Yes.
Just because of the end of my work, because I finished finished working for the company I've worked for the last 26 years.
Yes.
That's come to an end. So at the moment, I'm not employed. So we were going to take a nice holiday
Yes.
to reset everything
But
and
then,
think about what to do in the future.
but then life got in the way.
Life got in the way. Reality got in the way.
Yes.
So, Mr. Duncan, I always ask this every Sunday around this
What
point.
are we going to talk?
What are we going to talk about today, Mr. Duncan?
What are we going to talk about today, Mr. Duncan? Well, I still can't believe there's 8 billion people. There are going to be 8 billion. Have you ever thought of that? You know, you walk into town or you walk into an area where there are people, and you never really think of how many people there are around you. Like, for example, Much Wenlock is a small place, and I think sometimes it is easy just to forget how many people there are just scurrying and running around like ants on this giant blue pebble in space. It's very strange.
8 billion, that's right. It's a lot of people.
8 billion.
But apparently 5,000 people were born during the 2 weeks mourning of the Queen.
5,000.
Apparently, isn't that what we heard on our favourite programme that we like to watch? So just in that 2 weeks, so 5,000 more people. So it must be about 2,000-3,000 people a week are born in the world.
I'd imagine there's a person born every second.
Yes.
I wonder how many people are born every second.
Belarus.
So between the beginning and the end of this sentence.
Well, they used to say one person dies every second or every minute, didn't they?
Okay.
So I don't know if that's... So there must be more people being born every minute if the population's going up.
Yes.
They used to say somebody dies every minute, or is it every second? I can't remember now. That's a lot of people.
Anyway.
Belarusia, or AKA Claudia.
Hello, Claudia. What's cooking, by the way? What's in your pot? I didn't see it.
She's going to the beach.
Oh. Today?
Which I will point out, because we're an English teaching channel, is BEA. Beach is a type of wood. Hope you don't mind. We have to point these
so
things
it's
out.
BEECH is a type of tree, and BEACH is the place where you go to be by the sea. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing that.
Or maybe Belarusia is going. That's her break, is to go to sit near a beech tree.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, I see.
Maybe that is your break.
Yes.
But anyway, we love all your contributions to the live stream, which are many, and we want to know what you're cooking today.
Yes, what's in the pot?
Because Mr. Duncan wants to sing you that lovely little song.
Yes, I did at the start of today's live stream because I just wanted to cheer myself up. I wanted to get into it because I wasn't with you on Wednesday.
Oh, we've got it. Eggplants. Oh, Mr. Duncan, your favourite. Eggplants with, yes. Eggplant with onions, carrots and tomato sauce.
Oh, that sounds... I like the sound of that. I have to be honest with you, I do like the sound of eggplant. You know I like eggplant. It's also known as...
I can't think, Mr. Duncan. It's not cucumber, is it?
No.
It's like cucumber. So go on then.
It's the... I always get it mixed up, you see, with the other one. So there's eggplant and there's the zucchini. But that's not the same thing, is it?
Eggplant's other name is... Well, you were asking me, but I thought you actually knew.
No, I was just saying... Well, that was leading me on to saying that I always get confused between... Because zucchini is another type of... It looks the same, doesn't it? It looks like something you can hold...
Eggplant, is that purple, isn't it? It's
Yes.
the purple
yes, it's a
fruit.
It's long.
Vegetable.
It's often used as
Purple.
It's often used as a rude emoji.
But please tell us what it's also known as.
Yes.
Eggplant, or I can't think now. But there's cheese with it as well, Mr. Duncan. Eggplant, onions, carrots, tomato sauce, and that sounds. Oh, I bet you're doing that in a pot in the oven.
That's it.
It'll be all nice and crispy around the outside.
And I think you have to have some maybe some olive oil or some sort of oil on top as it's baking.
Yes.
absolutely delicious.
Nitram has estimated the number of people in the world who are currently having sex.
Wow. So no wonder everything is moving. That might be the reason why we keep having those earthquakes.
It could be, yes.
So many people.
Aubergine, thank you, Beatrice.
Yes.
Aubergines, yes, that is right. It's purple, isn't it?
It is. It can be very
colour.
very purple.
Well, it will be. So, Nitram estimates 1.553 million people are currently having sex.
They're making love
around the world.
They're making love.
But think how many animals are also doing that at the same time.
I'm not thinking of that. Why are you thinking of that?
Well, I'm just saying how many organisms are currently copulating, which is the sort of scientific word for having sex around the world.
I
didn't know we were going to go on to that subject, Mr. Duncan.
Well, I only mentioned it because of the populations around the world that have too many men. There are just too many men. You need to make more ladies, more girls, apparently.
Right, yes, so... Well, maybe somebody watching could make it 1.553 and a bit million.
Yes. Please,
we don't want to know what you're doing while you're watching
don't
us.
Encourage people
don't want to know.
Don't encourage people to do that because I want them to watch us.
Yes.
Don't give them something else to do. No, don't. You keep your clothes on and don't do it. You can at least wait until we're finished here before you start. Okay? Good idea? I think so.
So we're talking about, Mr. Duncan, the subject of today.
Well, it's interesting because we are talking about words, phrases and idioms connected to fruit.
Fruit.
And vegetables. Isn't that strange?
Fruit and vegetables.
So we were just talking about Claudia's giant purple eggplant. And now we are talking about fruit and veg. There are lots of ways of using those words, in words connected to those particular things, you see.
Belarusia is...
Hello, Claudia.
The lady who's looking after my father is vegetarian.
Oh.
So I'm cooking a vegetarian dish. Obviously, they're not vegan. No. Otherwise, you wouldn't be putting cheese on it. But they're vegetarian. So that sounds... And of course, somebody pointed out that you can stuff aubergines with meat.
Yes.
Which makes a very good dish. I can't remember who said that now. I think it was William.
I like to stuff my aubergine.
And no, Inaki said that.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds delicious. Have we got time to fly over?
I wish you could always send some to us.
Please do.
Yeah,
I know you're taunting us with your delicious recipes.
Yes. Eggplant. Well, we found a new place to eat, by the way, here in Much Wenlock a few months ago, a new cafe. But it's actually no ordinary cafe because it's also a wine bar as well. It's quite, dare I say, sophisticated. So that's probably the reason why we didn't go there, because we're not very sophisticated. But last week we went and they have some of the most amazing food, some beautiful cakes, beautiful quiches. Quiche. It is a crusty pie made with egg and you can put anything inside.
Oh.
And very, very nice place. Rather sophisticated.
Yeah, it's a bit more upmarket. If something is upmarket, it means it's probably a bit more expensive, a bit posher. Nicer class of people probably go there, which is why they'll probably throw us out.
Yes, well, they seem to like us anyway.
Vitas has just made a joke, which is one we've heard before, but it's very funny. I'm on a strict seafood diet.
Oh,
I see food and I eat it.
Yes, I think that deserves a little ripple of applause.
I think so. That's one of your better ones.
Or laughter.
Because, of course, to explain that joke for those who don't see that joke, seafood, as in the way that Vitas has put that down. Seafood is fish,
Yes.
prawns, that sort of thing. Anything that comes out of the sea, you would describe as seafood. But of course, if you split that word up and instead of saying SEA for sea, you say SEE for seeing, use seafood and eat it. So yeah, that's a funny joke.
So
That's a play on words.
the visual stimulation of seeing something compared with the type of animal that's caught in the sea, such as crabs.
I've caught crabs before, Mr.
Have you
Duncan.
caught crabs?
I have, yes, many times. I've gone to the beach and I've come away and I've got crabs.
Yes. Well, I've told you to keep your clothes on.
Yes, Christina's going. Bye, Christina. See you next week or next time. Well, strangely enough, we're having we eat a lot of vegetarian food now, don't we? In fact, twice this week we've had lentils because Amira says rice with vegetables. What we've been having a very sort of Indian dish, very common Indian dish, which is rice with lentils.
No, it's very nice.
Or lentils with rice. So cooking the lentils, green and red lentils, we're cooking, mixing them up with vegetables, some nice spices, tomatoes, all that in there. And then we're having it with rice. That's a very traditional Indian dish.
But we are not vegetarians or vegans, for that matter. I know we mention this subject so often on this live stream, but no, we're not. We do like our meat. There is nothing I enjoy more than I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say that. But there's nothing I enjoy more than having a nice, big, juicy piece of meat.
Nicely cooked. Right, Mr. Duncan.
Right, Mr. Steve. Is that it?
How long have we got? 40 minutes approximately.
Don't worry about the time. He's always worried about the time.
Well, because I get hungry, Mr.
That's what your mother used to do. Your mother used to always go on about, what time is it?
That would be in my eulogy.
How long have we got? What time? How long? Are we late? Your mother would often worry about what time it was. But I would say we don't have to worry today about it.
Well, I'm going at 4 o'clock, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
Because my stomach is rumbling. I've been in the garden working hard.
Okay.
One of us has got to do it. And preparing...
Strange attack.
It's not an attack.
Why
I'm
are you
just joking.
attacking me?
I didn't attack you.
You're attacking me. I take that personally. Attacking me in front of my lovely viewers. I'm not a gardener. That's all I can say. Talking of things that you might grow in the garden. Do you like that?
Nicely segued, Mr. Duncan.
You see, we went from one thing there to another thing, and you almost didn't notice. In fact, it is only me now telling you that has spoilt the whole thing. But yes, we are looking at fruit and vegetables, or more to the point, words and phrases connected to fruit and vegetables. So first of all, I suppose we can use the word fruit.
Okay.
Can't we?
Fruit first.
So fruit. Well, first of all, as an insult, a person might be called a fruit. It is a very...
If you're a fruit cake...
Oh no, I'm just let me just do the bit I'm doing now. A fruit is a very derogatory, a very bad word for a person who is gay.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. So it's not a very nice word. But you can also feel or appear fruity. Ooh, and this one is quite, something that's fruity. Maybe a person has a mellow voice. Mellow and comforting. A mellow voice. They have a fruity voice. Some people say that my voice is quite fruity.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't ever recall hearing that, Mr. Duncan.
Also, something that is erotically stimulating might be fruity. Ooh, something that makes you feel a little excited, fruity, something, ooh.
You can describe someone as fruity, can't you? Look at that fruity girl.
Yeah.
And it just means that she looks sort of ripe and appealing and sweet, like fruit. So fruit is something that people like to eat, don't they? It's got a certain feeling to it. It's sweet.
It's juicy.
Sort of got round edges.
Nice and juicy.
You know, and if you describe somebody as fruity, it means that they're very attractive in a sexual way.
Yes,
probably.
you are very much attracted to them.
Yes.
They are quite fruity.
Ooh. Aren't you fruity?
Ooh la la!
Yes. You look very fruity in that dress.
Yes, very fruity.
Yes. So, don't say it to your sister
Yes, no.
or to your mother, but say it to,
Well, maybe somebody that you would like to get to know a little better.
But, okay.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
To be a fruitcake. This is something we are often described as. People often say, you too, Mr. Steve and Mr. Duncan, you are a couple of fruitcakes. To appear crazy or slightly mad.
That's it. If you say, oh, you're a fruitcake, it's a sort of... It's not a particularly nasty phrase.
I think it
it's
can
a
be.
sort of mild way of saying you're a nutter.
Yes, I think it can be used as an insult.
It definitely is an insult.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's a fruitcake.
Yes.
So it's quite insulting as well.
It just means they behave oddly. It doesn't mean that you are literally mad.
No.
It just means that you might have strange ideas or strange customs or appearance, or you might be somebody who is unpredictable in the way that you behave.
Maybe you are one of those conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Who just thinks that the world is a big organisation and everything is planned. And they might say, he's a bit of a fruitcake.
It just means that you've got some slightly warped ideas of how the world is. You might be a bit paranoid about things. Oh, it's a fruitcake.
Yes.
I wouldn't take any notice of him. He's a fruitcake.
That's it.
Or her, of course.
Or her. Or them.
Or them.
Or they, them. To cherry pick. So now we are looking at things now. We are looking at fruit. It just shows how my brain works. Sometimes I can't remember if a cherry is a fruit or a vegetable. Is that my brain doing that? But sometimes I see cherries and I think fruit or vegetable for a moment, but then I remember. You see, they are fruit.
There are certain things which are difficult to categorise as fruit or vegetables. I mean, tomatoes. There's one. Is it a fruit or a vegetable? I mean, we think it's a vegetable, but is it? Technically, is it? I don't know what makes a fruit or a vegetable. We're not going into that. But you can quite often... Some things are obvious, like carrots, potatoes.
That's clearly a vegetable because it grows underground.
Yes, that's it.
That's why I always assume fruit grows on trees. Vegetables grow on the land or underground. So you often think of fruit trees, but you don't have tomato trees.
Tomato plants.
Yes. So so I always still, even now, even though people keep telling me they are not vegetables, I still think that tomatoes are vegetables.
Yes. Chocolate, according to Vitas, chocolate is a bean, obviously, comes from the cocoa bean, which grows on a tree. And so Vitas sees that as chocolate, or is he telling a joke? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But I don't know. Is chocolate a fruit or is it a vegetable?
Yes.
We don't know. Maybe somebody could look it up and tell us.
So here we go. We have a phrase to cherry pick something. So quite often if you have to gather certain types of fruit, you have to do it very carefully. And in this particular situation, if you are picking cherries, you have to do it very carefully. You have to select the right ones. So as an actual expression, to cherry pick means to select things carefully with purpose. So quite often a person will try to make an argument, won't they?
Yes.
And they will choose certain things that make their argument strong. But then the other person might disagree and say, oh, well, you are just cherry picking. You are choosing those points very carefully because you want to win the argument. But maybe there are many other things you could say in response that would completely undo their thoughts and ideas. I always think of religious people.
Yes.
Religious people will always cherry pick from, I suppose I would use the Bible as a good example. They always cherry pick.
Pick out the bits that support their arguments.
Yes.
Whereas leaving out the things which are there, which won't support their argument.
Yes. So they will say, oh, God said that you shouldn't do this. But then elsewhere in the book, it says the opposite thing. Or it doesn't seem to actually mind if you do it.
Or specifically, they might point out bits from the Bible, for example, that seem to show that homosexuality is wrong, and therefore the rule is it's wrong. But then they will miss out and forget about the other bits of the Bible that may say that, for example, the treatment of women.
Oh, I see.
Which we don't.
I thought you were going to tell me that there's a part of the Bible that says, look, just be gay. Be as gay as you want.
No, I was just saying, but, in support of,
yes.
It's got to be careful what we say here, but that is the sort of thing. So there might be a subject area or a book or something, but you've got an argument you want to make, and you only pick out the bits from there that support your argument.
Yes.
You cherry pick, you pick out the best bits.
Yes.
Like picking the best cherries off the tree.
That's it.
But you conveniently leave out things that don't support your argument.
Yes.
Climate science, there's another one.
Well, any debate.
Any debate. So there's a lot of research out there about climate change. Some of it will be showing that climate change is happening and it's man-made. Other research will be showing that it isn't. But then when you give a talk on it, you will only pick out the bits that support if you're in favour of climate change being caused by humans, you will only pick out the research bits that support that, and you'll conveniently forget about the ones that don't support it. I'm not making any judgment on climate change being man-made. I'm just using that as an example to say that you cherry-pick.
Nobody thinks that's your view.
No, yeah.
Why isn't there a gay religion, by the way? Just have literally everything about it. You can write your own book, and it's all just incredibly gay. I did like that, though. I actually thought you were going to tell me that there's a bit of the Bible that says just. It's not even in the Ten Commandments.
Well, that's it. That's always the... Anyway, we're getting into...
I know, but I'm just saying. But
I know, there's lots of things in the Ten Commandments which people do.
Yeah, if it's... you see?
If it's that bad.
Don't look at your next door neighbour's new car, because that is one of the sins in the Ten Commandments.
Yes.
Looking at your neighbour's new car.
Coveting your neighbour's possessions or something.
Yeah, you covet their ass.
Pardon? I don't remember that one, Mr. Duncan.
No, that is. No,
anyway, we're not going to get into a religious argument, Mr. Duncan.
No, I'm not arguing about anything.
Well, you sort of put it out there.
No, I just said that being gay isn't in the Ten Commandments. You'd think it would be in there, wouldn't you? No, it's
but yes.
Number 4 or 5. Is it before or after thou shalt not kill? Is it? It's just interesting.
Anyway, yeah, that wasn't what... yeah. So cherry pick means to pick out areas you've got an argument to make and you've got a point to make which you believe in. And you pick out the bits from all the wealth of information about that subject which support your ideas and conveniently leave out the bits that don't support your ideas.
Yeah.
And that's what cherry picking is about.
That's it. So, like, for example, saying, in the Bible it says don't be gay, but it also says you can kill your kids if they are insolent.
But we don't do that anymore.
But no one ever mentions that one.
Yes, but anyway, yeah. But climate change will be one. You might be talking about a particular person that you, somebody that, maybe there's somebody at work, somebody in your family, people are talking about them, and you're, say, in support of that person. People are criticising this particular person, a lot, and they're saying, "Oh, but they're so kind. I remember when they did this for me, or I remember when they did that." And then someone else might say, "Well, you're cherry picking all the good bits. I remember when he kicked me, or when he stole something from me." So you just pick out the bits to support your argument to be in favour of something, or not to be in favour of something. I hope we've explained that.
Yeah, I think we've almost over-explained it.
Well, I think the live chat might have frozen. I'm not sure.
No.
Right.
I think everyone's just stunned. Everyone's just going...
Everyone's just talking about eggplants, to be honest, Mr.
Yes,
Duncan.
well, why not? Eggplants are brilliant. I love eggplants. We should have Eggplant Day, where everyone around the world eats eggplants and nothing else. Think of all the...
Inaki says that...
The sewers will be overflowing the next day.
Nigerian women are fruity.
Yeah, there you go.
What about Nigerian men? I bet they're fruity.
Okay. Maybe that's for another time. Here's another one, Steve. Blow a raspberry.
Oh.
It's a very rude sound made with one's mouth and tongue. So what you do is you put your... I can't speak while I do it, by the way.
Shall I do it then?
No.
Why
Because
not?
yours would be very wet. No, that isn't it.
That's a raspberry.
That is not a raspberry.
It is?
This is a raspberry.
Oh. You need to wipe down your equipment now, Mr. Duncan.
I think I do a better raspberry than you.
Yes.
Raspberry. If you blow a raspberry, that's what you are doing. You are making a rude sound with your mouth and your tongue.
Why would you make that sound, Mr. Duncan?
Why? Well, maybe if you disagree with someone, or maybe if you want to insult another person, maybe they are talking about something and you disagree with it, you might go,
Yes.
because you don't agree with them. Or maybe you've just discovered that you can't win the argument. That's your response, because you have no argument to make, so you have to just make a rude sound instead.
Yes, maybe somebody... Yes, often used to silence somebody if they're making an argument and you're maybe losing.
Yes. Children do it.
Children do it, yes.
Children do it quite often to each other.
Yes, it means shut up, basically, doesn't it?
Shut
up.
It also sounds like a fart.
It means shut up, doesn't it, really?
Maybe someone who's had too many aubergines.
Everyone's eating...
And then the next day they are sitting on the toilet making a very...
Yes, I think that's the idea. It's a rude sound that sounds like, something coming from your rear end, and it's designed to try and shut somebody up.
Yes.
Because either you don't like them, or they're saying something you don't like, or they're winning an argument or something.
There's a very famous scene in a film called Blazing Saddles. It's all about cowboys in the Wild West. And there's a great scene where all of the cowboys are sitting around the campfire and they're all eating baked beans.
Which supposedly, this is what we are led to believe, that cowboys eat a lot of baked beans.
Which I think they did.
Don't know whether they did or not.
I don't think they didn't have McDonald's then.
Beans is what, in the common sort of understanding of cowboys, is that they ate a lot of beans.
See, there is a sentence I didn't think we would be saying today, but yes, cowboys. Anyway, the cowboys are sitting around the campfire and suddenly they all start farting. But you can tell that they're not real farts. It's just somebody going...
All right, Mr. I think we've heard enough of that. Yes. So if you don't like what somebody's saying, you make that sound.
Yes.
There we go. So yes, they make that sound, says Beatrice, where they are, but they don't have a name for it.
That's my new thing.
Yes, raspberry tart, blowing a fart, says Nitram.
That's
Which is a nice little rhyme, actually.
I like that. Raspberry tart, blowing a fart. I like that. It's good.
That could be a Cockney rhyming slang, couldn't it?
We've got one of those coming next.
Really?
Yes. Can you believe it? Look at that. Apples and pears. Look at that.
Cockney rhyming slang.
You mentioned that, and then we have one. Look, rhyming slang there. Apples and pears. So when we say I'm going up the apples and pears, I'm going up the stairs.
Not that you would say that, but somebody might for a sort of a joke.
He might be a Cockney living in London. All right.
But the only reason that is a rhyming slang is that that phrase is used is that it does rhyme. Just like where was I? Lost it now. Forgotten who made that. Oh right, where is it? Yes, raspberry tart, blowing a fart is a rhyme.
It has to be Vitas.
And no, it's not actually, for a change.
It's Nitram.
It's Nitram, yes. But that is apples and pears is something that you would not use in any other country apart from the UK, and we don't really use it here. But it's just words and phrases connected to fruit and vegetables. In this case, two fruits or two fruit.
Yeah, two fruits. I'm not on about us, by the way.
Yeah.
When I said two fruits, I don't mean us. So apples and pears, rhyming slang for going up the stairs.
So blowing a raspberry is, just to reiterate, that is just a sound you make when you don't agree with somebody. There's no sort of rhyme or anything or connection to being a Cockney in that. It's just a sound people make.
Yeah.
Children make it. Up yours.
Mainly because the sound is called rasp. R-A-S-P. So the actual sound, the proper definition of that sound is rasp. So I think that's the reason why they say raspberry.
Could be. Yeah, okay.
Yes, very nice. Here's another one. To be rotten to the core. A thoroughly bad person. You might describe an evil, wicked person. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Hitler. You might say that Hitler was rotten to the core.
Yes. So like an apple, maybe an apple. If you cut into a fruit and it looks all right on the outside and you cut into it, sometimes you do that. It's horrible when you do that, like a potato or sometimes a sweet potato or maybe even an aubergine. It looks all right on the outside and an apple does. You cut it, but it's rotten. Right the way to the centre. The core is the centre, like the core of the earth, the centre of the earth. And if the implication is that is bad, obviously if an apple is rotten to the core, it's bad and it has to be thrown out.
So it's rotten all the way through. So a person can also be rotten all the way through if they have a bad character.
Bad character, they're nasty, evil people, but you might not be able to tell from the outside. So it's they might look all right on the outside, but it's they're rotten. They're a horrible person. They're not literally rotten. It's a what, Mr. Duncan?
Well, it's a phrase, an idiom.
And yeah, that's right.
So you're saying that person is rotten to the core because they are bad.
They've done something bad.
You could also say an organisation. A certain organisation can also be rotten to the core if there is a lot of
corruption.
A lot of bribery or corruption, yes.
A government might be rotten to the core because there's a lot of corruption going on.
We've just got rid of one of those. We've just kicked out a government that we saw as rotten to the core. There was a big giant worm inside the apple, and we all know who that was.
Yeah. So there we go. That's often used to describe a bad person.
A bad person. They are rotten.
It might be that they're always cheating on their husbands or wives. Could be somebody at work, like, as you say, could be Hitler.
At work? My God, you used to work with Hitler.
There are other world leaders that you might also describe in a similar fashion.
That must have been a long 9 to 5. That's all I can say.
Yes, it is peeving when you cut an apple in half and you've got this lovely juicy apple that you want to eat. And there's only one left. And you think, I'm going to have that apple tonight. And you cut it into it with the knife and it's rotten all the way through.
Yes.
And you have to throw it in the bin. Talking of apples and how healthy fruit is, Mr. Duncan,
Okay.
is a new word I've learnt this week.
A new word.
A new word connected with apples and fruit with the skins on fruit.
Oh, this is what you were telling me last night. Because
It was.
You said from now on we have to eat potatoes with the skin still on.
And apples,
Which sounds disgusting.
because they're full of flavonoids or flavonoids,
Flavonoids.
which apparently are very healthy molecules or chemicals contained within the skins of particularly apples, berries, potatoes, the skin. So, I mean, we do know you should be eating the skins of fruits. They're very good for you,
Yes.
as long as they're not covered in pesticides.
Yes.
But yes, so I don't know how I got onto that, Mr. Duncan.
No,
but
because it's a new word. You said
It's a new
I've got a
word.
great word. That's a good word. That flavonoids.
So if you're thinking of a healthy life, healthy guts, avoiding having to go and see the doctor, an apple a day apparently really does keep the doctor away, which is a phrase.
Unless, of course, that apple is covered in bird poop, in which case it won't.
Yes,
You will
so
be going to the nearest hospital.
Do wash your fruit and vegetables before you eat the skins.
We can't stress this enough. Please don't forget. Please, if you are going to eat fruit and vegetables or potatoes, of course, because they are covered in dirt.
Oh, here's a good one from Nitram, connected with fruit falling off the tree. A windfall
Yes,
tax.
it's on the screen. It's been on the screen for the last 4
right.
minutes.
I've just yes. Yeah, experience a windfall.
That's
yeah.
it. So to experience.
Pay attention, Mr. Steve.
Let's pay attention, Mr. Steve. This is it. You see, this is where we are. We're inside this box.
Well, I'm so fixated on the live stream.
So when we mention windfall, it's very interesting because it's fruit, something that's fallen from the tree. It's very easy to get, or something that's easy to find. So it's often used as a positive phrase. You have a windfall, an unexpected surprise, something that benefits you, and it's almost as if it falls from a tree.
Yes, with
So-
no effort.
To experience a windfall, the fruit that falls from a tree is generally described as windfall, and it's easy to pick up, something you can get very easily. Or, as an idiom, we can use it as good fortune, something fortunate, something good, nice that happened, that came your way. And already someone has mentioned, I think it was Nitram mentioned windfall tax. So maybe something that is returned to you, or maybe something that comes back, or maybe a discount that is given.
Yes. Windfall tax, yes. We're getting that in the UK right now with changes to taxation.
Some of us are.
A sudden announcement that maybe the rate of tax is being cut.
I'm not getting
can be
any-
described as a windfall tax.
I'm not getting anything.
Something you didn't expect, almost free, no effort required.
Not giving me anything.
If you suddenly came into money, somebody gave you some money, you could say that was a windfall. You weren't expecting it, no effort required to get it, it just came your way.
Yes. Something easily obtained, or something that comes by surprise, but
Yes.
something positive.
Beatrice is eating an apple right now. How about that? We're talking about apples and somebody's eating an apple. Well, I hope you're eating the skin, Beatrice, because apparently that's what you've got to do to get the maximum health benefit.
You've got to eat the skin, but make sure you wash the apple first. We can't stress that enough.
Or buy organic ones.
Yes. But
Grow them yourself.
even wash those just in case the farmer might have sneezed on the apple. See, to squeeze every last drop, to squeeze every last drop from something. You squeeze.
Well, not humans.
No, but it's a figure of speech.
Yes.
To squeeze every last drop from something. So imagine if you're crushing a grape or a plum, some fruit, you're trying to get
Orange.
the juice, and you want to get every last drop. You squeeze it very tightly until every last drop of juice.
It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time to do that.
But we can also use it figuratively to show that you are maybe if you are a boss of a company and you are making your workers work extra hours and you are trying to get all of the work out of them as much as you can, you might say that you are squeezing every last drop of the energy or effort. Yes, good one.
Yes.
To take or get as much as you can from people.
From something or people.
You squeeze.
You could squeeze. You could say that you watching us are squeezing every last drop out of Mr. Duncan by making him stay on for 2 hours. I'm only joking.
Yes. I didn't have much juice to start with, to be honest.
Saturino's eating some black grapes.
Very nice.
Yes, again, I hope with the skins on.
Yes.
Apple pie. Palmyra has had an apple pie made for myself. Apple pie and custard.
Sounds good.
That sounds lovely. Do you put cloves in your apple pie? My mother always used to put cloves in the apple pie. So cloves are a kind of, I think they're a spice with a very
They look like
pungent.
They look like sticks.
They look like little black sticks, and you put those in your apple pie, and it gives it a certain flavour and aroma. And the oil from cloves is often used to, if Claudia's still here, is often used for toothache.
Oh,
Clove oil.
Oh,
Put that on. It's supposed to get rid of toothache.
interesting.
I think I'm right in that, Claudia. If you will correct me on that if I'm wrong.
A traditional remedy for toothache. Interesting.
Yes.
So here we go. We've had fruit. Would you like some?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Anarchy says, I squeeze every last drop out of the live streams. I watch them more than once.
Oh.
Yes. So you're getting every bit of learning out of it that you possibly could. So you could watch like Mr. Duncan's lessons, one of his lessons or one of his live streams. You could just watch it once and you'll learn a few things. But then if you watch it twice or 3 times, you'll get more and more information and more learning out of it. So you're squeezing every last drop out of that one lesson. Thank you for that. That's a very good way of expressing that particular phrase.
It's a good analogy. Fruit and vegetables, words and phrases. We have some vegetables now. Oh, Mr. Steve, this is something that you are definitely not. So you thought there was a compliment coming then, but there wasn't. It was a classic case of misdirection. Cool as a cucumber, to be relaxed and calm. Maybe a person who is laid back, chilled. They are a person who rarely becomes angry or flustered by anything. They are cool as a cucumber, confident, self-assured. They are as cool as a cucumber.
Because a cucumber has that reputation of you cut it up, you put it on your skin, it cools the skin. Cucumber juice is supposed to be cooling, isn't it? You put cucumber slices on your eyes to cool your eyes and reduce the bags under your eyes. So cucumber has that reputation. Of course, cool as a cucumber has a nice, feels nice when you're saying it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Cool as a cucumber, it sort of scans, doesn't it? It almost rhymes. But it does mean if you say somebody is relaxed, unruffled, cool as a cucumber. Doesn't matter what's happening. You could be driving along in the car and people could be cutting you up, annoying you, but you just don't react.
Yes.
Cool as a cucumber.
You might also describe it, I suppose, as a simile as well. Simile.
Yes.
Could be. Something is a hot potato. There are many hot potatoes at the moment, especially when we talk about current affairs, opinions, political points of view. There are many hot potatoes. A controversial topic or issue. something that is not easy to talk about or express, maybe a controversial point of view, might be described as a hot potato, or maybe a topic that is not easy to talk about without arguing. It is a hot potato, a controversial topic or issue.
Let's think of an example. Let's talk about the monarchy, for example.
Yes.
Is a bit of a hot potato. It would have, well, to discuss the role of the monarchy in future life would have been a hot potato during the 2-week period of mourning for the Queen, because it would have seemed inappropriate to talk about it. Something, yes, a controversial subject that.
Well, in the United States, there is abortion.
Yes,
that is a very hot potato, and also, I suppose, gender rights.
Yes,
for women, men, and all of those in between. So that is a bit of a hot potato.
The implication is some people get very upset talking about it. Talking about religion.
Yes.
If you're with friends or family, they would say never talk about politics or religion, because they are hot potato subjects. They're areas which could create a lot of argument and discourse.
Yes.
And upset.
But quite often it's a current thing that lots of people. So
yes.
At the moment, a hot potato in this country is immigration.
Yes.
I'm sure in many countries it is a thing that lots of people are talking about, but in this country, immigration is
racism.
A hot potato. A hot potato. It is very current.
Controversial.
And controversial, yes.
In our case, says in Spanish you say cool as a lettuce.
Oh,
do
yes.
you?
I like that one.
Cool as a lettuce.
Yes.
Well, yeah, lettuces are normally wet and sort of cool.
Yes, crisp and cool.
Palmyra says that they've got an old saying, cool as a Belgian. Interesting. Do you mean the chocolate, Belgian chocolate, or do you mean the Belgian people? Oh, I didn't know Belgian people have got a reputation for being cool, unruffled. Often people say about British people can seem a bit cool, a bit, don't react to things.
I'm not sure about that.
Thank you, yes.
Yes, hot potato. Oh, apparently hot potato. Butch Cassidy is portrayed by a black actor. Oh, yes, of course, racism and also the way that people are represented in storytelling. So maybe traditionally if a character was of a certain ethnic group and then someone decides to make a new version and then they have someone from a different ethnicity. I suppose, for example, a good one would be The Little Mermaid at the moment. Everyone's talking about that.
Are they?
Yes. Everyone. Literally every person on the planet at the moment
haven't heard about that.
Is talking about The Little Mermaid because the new version, she is black. But everyone's saying, no, she's not. They're all saying, no, Ariel was white and she didn't have... See, to me, that doesn't matter. From my point of view, it doesn't really matter, as long as the film is good.
But it's a hot potato because it causes controversy.
Yes. And sometimes, of course, it's done on purpose. Sometimes these things are done because they want to get a reaction, because then more people will be talking about it. It's like us. I always say to Steve, we must do something really controversial during one of our live streams, and then everyone will talk about it. And then the following week, everyone will come and watch us to find out what the fuss was all about. And then suddenly we'll have millions of people watching. So maybe one day, I don't know, maybe we appear and we're in blackface with giant wigs, you see? But that's terrible. That's an awful thing to do. Anyone. But we'd never do that.
We're not going to do that.
But we're not going to do it. But imagine if we did. That's what we said this morning. I'm not saying we're going to do it, and I don't agree with it. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I've got to now explain all of this and apologise for everything that I didn't mean. But no, that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying, well, maybe Mr. Steve says, I don't know, Mr. Steve says the monarchy of England must be abolished. He doesn't think that, but that's just an example of something you could say.
It's
And
to do with Belgian horses.
Oh, okay.
That were very calm. Lithuania appeared. Yeah.
They're not palominos. Palominos.
Sure.
I love palominos. They must be the most beautiful horse that exists is the palomino. Have you ever seen one? They're beautiful horses.
People are really talking about eating apples. Saturino eats a lot of them in the winter. They are a sort of, I agree with you there, apples are a sort of a winter fruit because you can store, apples grow in the summer, but you can store them. My father used to do that. We used to have apple trees when I grew up. And my father used to store them. You could put them in, sort of wrap them in paper, put them in a box, and put them in a cold place, and they would keep all winter. Apples keep in the fridge. Like if you buy apples, they'll keep for like a month in the fridge, way beyond their sell-by date. That's the one thing. If you keep them cold, apples will keep for weeks and weeks, months in some cases.
Years.
Which is why they're seen as a fruit to eat in the winter, because you pick them in the summer and then in the winter you don't have any fruit because it's not growing, but the apples will store well and you can keep on eating them.
That's great.
So, yes.
So here's another one. We've got a vegetable, carrot. Of course, we like carrots.
Yes.
To be led by a carrot and stick. So quite often to encourage a person to do something, quite often you will give them some sort of incentive or a reason to do something. Quite often it will be money.
Promotion, maybe you might be promised a promotion if you do something, but if you do something, we will increase your pay by a certain amount. Yes, and it's like the donkey, isn't it, where you put a carrot in front of the donkey, and the donkey moves forward because it's trying to get the carrot.
Yes. So you are encouraging the donkey to walk forwards.
You're getting something or somebody to do something.
Yes. So quite often they would put a carrot on a piece of string and then hold the string on a piece of wood or a stick, and then they would put the carrot in front, and so the donkey would always try to take the carrot.
It means to get somebody to do something by giving them something something nice to go for, an incentive, something.
That's it.
Yeah,
it says here on the screen, to lure or persuade using a pleasant reward, something nice. Quite often we think of money,
but the stick is the opposite of that, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're leading by a stick, it means that you're cajoling somebody. You are trying to bully them into doing something. So instead of saying to them that by giving them a carrot, the reward, if you do something, you get something, you get a pay rise or you get a promotion, you're saying that you'll do the opposite. You say to your employer, you do this or you will get the sack, or I will demote you. So the stick means it's like hitting somebody to punish them by not. That's two ways of trying to get somebody to do something for you. Is you either give them something that they would like as a reward, or you punish them.
Yes, you use force.
You use force.
So you treat them to something nice, or you beat them with
the carrot and the stick. So
with
the
a
two,
stick.
The ways of motivating people to do something, particularly at work.
Anyway, we've got to move on because we are running out of time.
We are, and I'm getting hungry.
To be like two peas in a pod. A lot of people say that we are just like two peas in a pod. To be well suited or similar in appearance or behaviour. So I think we are definitely like two peas in a pod, aren't we?
Yes, like two peas in a pod. Two things. So if you can imagine a pea pod with all the peas in, they're very similar. Very similar, comfortable together. Like two peas in a pod. It means, yes, two people are well suited, or they even look the same in appearance or behaviour. Those two are like two peas in a pod. It means that they are very well suited. they behave in a similar way. Maybe they even dress the same. The implication is that you look the same.
That's it. Very suited. Well suited.
Like two peas in a pod.
Finally, we have...
Those two get on together. That's the other thing you can say. Two people can get on well together like two peas in a pod, because obviously peas in a pod, they're together. They have to be, so there's no conflict. No conflict. It implies there's no conflict going on between those people.
Spill the beans.
Right.
You spill the beans to reveal a secret or a hidden plan. Maybe you spill the beans. Maybe you have something planned, but you don't want to tell anyone just yet. You do not want to spill the beans. And then the opposite is to spill the beans, is to reveal the secret. So you keep it hidden or you reveal it. You do not want to spill the beans. You do spill the beans. You decide to tell everyone your secret or your hidden plan.
Is pod the same? Is husk the same as pod?
I suppose it's very similar. Something hard, a protective surrounding of a type of maybe pea or nut.
Technically,
wheat.
It's not the same. You don't say a pea husk. You say a pea pod. A husk is something hard on the outside of something, like the husk of a fruit. Maybe like a
nut.
Like a nut might have a husk around it, or I'm thinking of something like, what am I thinking of? What are those things that fall from the tree? You get milk inside them. Coconut. A coconut has a husk on it. It's a dry, hard outer coating. A husk is normally something that's dry and hard, whereas a pod is normally something like a pea pod is normally soft and sort of fleshy.
Yes, but quite often the outer coating or protective covering of a thing, quite often a nut, as you said, a nut, or maybe a seed or something, a husk.
Yeah, if it's dry and hard, a husk is dry and hard, whereas a pod is normally more sort of fleshy.
I feel as if I am a husk of my former self, what I used to be like in the past. I am no longer. I am a husk, a dried shell.
Yes.
Of a man.
Nothing inside. You're empty.
That's the feeling.
Yes.
Anyway, Steve, it's time to say goodbye.
At last. What a shame.
Good. That's good. That's nice, Mr. Steve. I'm glad.
I'm joking.
I'm glad you're
joking.
Yes, I know. We know you're joking, Mr. Steve. You wouldn't actually say that, would you? You wouldn't actually be pleased.
That's it.
Anyway, it's time for us to go. Mr. Steve is going to make a delicious cup of tea because I am thirsty.
And I'm hungry. So I'm going to have a little snack, and I'm going to have an apple, I think. I'm going to have an apple because I bought some apples because I read they were healthy. And I'd forgot. That's a very posh glass you're drinking water out of, Mr.
Yes,
Duncan.
it's my new...
Where did we get that from?
I don't know.
I don't remember us having posh glasses like that. What sort of drink would you put in there? Wouldn't be wine, would it? You get very drunk if you...
It's actually a beer glass.
Is it? For a woman, I would say. Beer glass for a woman. Because men's beer glasses are more sort of, tougher looking.
Yes, okay.
Right, lovely to be here, everyone. I've enjoyed today. I hope you have too, and I hope you've learnt something, and more importantly, that you have learnt something.
What we've learnt today, we've learnt that you must eat your apples with the skin. But, and I can't express this enough, you must clean the skin. You must wash the apple before you eat it. Please, 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 please. I beg you. I beg you.
Yes, because the little insects might have peed or pooed all over it. I had a friend that never used to wash any fruit. Didn't matter what she bought, strawberries, anything. She said, I never wash my fruit.
Oh, I thought there was going to be a moral.
But I thought it was interesting that because they always tell you on the packages to wash the fruit because you don't know what's been crawling over that fruit, do you? Anyway, enough of that.
So what happened to the friend?
Well, she's all right. No bad consequences came of it.
So the moral of the story,
you probably don't need to. Right.
after all of those warnings.
Have a good week, everyone, and see you. I will be here next week. even though it's the eve of my mother's funeral.
Yes, we will see what happens.
I will be here.
Everything we're doing at the moment, we are just taking it one day at a time. There was a song by Lena Martell, "One day at a time, sweet Steve, that's all that we can do. We take every day as each one arrives."
Was that a hit?
I haven't finished yet.
It's finished.
I haven't finished yet. Let me finish my song.
Well,
Wait.
I want to go, Mr.
You have to
Duncan.
wait. One day at a time.
Pedro's here, but we're going.
Okay, we're going.
You're too late, Pedro, but nice to see you anyway. Hello, Pedro. Hello, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve, says Pedro. Southern Comfort, says Beyond Awake. Is that something you're going to drink?
Do
That's a
you
nice
actually
drink.
want to go?
Yes, I do actually, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Beyond Awake has given us a load of nice... Are those emojis, are they? Lots of fruit.
Yes.
Not emojis, what would you call them?
Yes,
Just-
you can describe them as emojis. Yes, that's okay.
Have a lovely week, everyone, and see you this time next week.
This time next week we will be
Or
saying
2 hours earlier than this next
yes,
week.
we will be saying exactly the same thing this time next week as we are now, which is thank you, Mr. Steve. See you next week. Oh, you know, sometimes I'm surprised that anyone watches us. Anyone. It never fails to cheer me up, knowing that someone out there wants to watch us. Thank you for your company today. We've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's nice to be back with you. I know things are not great at the moment. Everything is weird. If there is ever a word to describe 2022, I think weird might be a suitable word to use. Time to go. See you on Wednesday. I'm back on Wednesday, so you don't have very long to wait before I'm back with you. So I will see you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, unless, of course, something else happens, another event occurs. We will see what happens. So I will see you then. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the start of the week. And I will see you on Wednesday. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you soon. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Is that it? Okay. Ta-ta for now.